Welcome to Sunshine Art and Drawing. Today I'm opening a bit of a late birthday present from my partner. It is the classic colouring Alice in Wonderland book. I already have the Jane Austen version of this book, but when I saw this Alice in Wonderland version, I definitely wanted to add that to my colouring book collection. My favourite character in there is the Cheshire Cat. I've always loved that character, but today we're going to be colouring some pages from that. But I wanted to show you the Jane Austen one. I haven't finished the whole book yet, but I've done quite a few pages, and some of them didn't turn out as good as I hoped, but a lot of them turned out really pretty, so I thought I'd share that with you. So, especially the last one didn't turn out very good, but that's okay. Let's get started on this Alice in Wonderland one. I decided to do the picture of Alice in Wonderland when she's playing croquet. She's using a flamingo as a bat and a little hedgehog as a ball, and funnily enough there's a little hedgehog down the bottom trying to run away, which is exactly what happens when they try to play croquet. And it's the Queen of Hearts part where she sort of finds herself in the Queen of Hearts court and she's invited to play along. So I was using many different colours and blending them together. With watercolour it's easier to blend with water, so you just add the two colours next to each other, add a bit of water and sort of push the colours into each other, and then they'll blend together pretty easily. It also helps a lot if you're allowing the page to dry between colours. So as I've done this little pink flamingo, I let the page dry a little bit before I started the blue area of her dress, just so the colour didn't run and bleed into each other and make a bit of a mess. But it doesn't matter if that happens. Watercolour kind of has that tendency, so it does lend itself to a little bit of sort of running and bleeding every now and again, and it's kind of forgiven in watercolour art just because it's the way the ink likes to move across the page. So I thought I would do some different coloured blues for her dress, using some light blues for the main part and then some darker blues for the accent and the little sort of, I guess it's an apron type thing she's wearing over the top of her dress. It's likely probably to stop her nice dress from getting dirty while she's outside. Back in those times, the clothes were expensive, so you would want to keep your clothes as nice as possible, and they probably made her a little apron to sit over the top of it, just to keep the front of her dress nice and clean while she's out playing in the garden. Now, if you haven't read this book, I definitely recommend that you get the original book and read it. It's a gorgeous, lovely book. It's got drawings in it. You can also get it in a picture book form, I'm pretty sure, but it is a lovely story and really interesting. So I would totally recommend that you get this one. Even if you can't get the book, maybe watch the cartoon or the movie that came out recently. It's a pretty fun movie to get. Other than that, I wanted to do all the background and the little hedgehogs. I thought I would do them a nice brown and add a little bit of yellow just to accent the top of their body where the sun would hit it and give them a little bit of shape so they're not flat colours. And I used a bit of the leftover brown on the brush just to add a little bit to his underbelly, just so that he didn't look too white and it gave him a bit more of a shadow there. And I added a lot more darker blue to the sections of the dress that would be in shadow, just to give it a bit more accent there. And next I decided I would do the background a little bit. So I did a little bit of green and brown just for that section there, because I'm pretty sure that she had to come through like a hedge to get into the sort of garden. And as she's coming through that hedge, she gets caught by those weird card soldier men things and brought to the Queen. And the Queen is so enamoured with her, they decide to play some croquet. And this is the weirdest game of croquet she's ever played, because it's literally with a flamingo. So the flamingo turns and looks at her, and I think that's the shot that they're trying to show here. And I thought I would put some light green on the ground just to show the grass of where they would be playing croquet. Croquet is a strange old-fashioned game. I don't know if anyone's really plays it anymore. It's kind of a game where you have a bat and a ball and it's played on grass, and you hit the ball through little sort of hoops that are hammered into the ground. And the whole point is to get it through all the different little hoops, and I guess you get points for that. I don't think I've ever played it myself, but I have seen it played, so I kind of understand what they're trying to show, but I could not imagine trying to play it with a flamingo as your bat. I don't think it would like being held upside down, to be honest. But I wanted to just add different colours here and there and make it look quite cute. I gave her little blue shoes to match her dress, and then added some lines in with the blue pencil just to give those little wrinkles in her dress a bit more definition, and also added a bit more blue to the edge of the little apron because I thought it stood out a little bit better than the other colour I used before. And as long as you let the colours dry, you can add more colours over the top just to give a bit more definition. And then I used the water brush just to brush over those lines so they weren't too harsh, and then blended in the blue of the apron into the edge of the apron. And last but not least, I added a little bit of light blue to the top just to add a little bit of a sky. I thought that would just sort of give a little bit of a border to that top part, and it's not very dark, but it's just enough to add a little accent. And I thought that the flamingo looked a little bit flat, so I used a deeper purple colour to give a bit of shadow, and then blended that in, and then got the bright pink colour and added a bit more pink just to the parts that would be standing out, like the head and the wing that would come forward in the picture. So add a bit of highlight there and blended it all together with the purple, and I think that made the flamingo look a bit more, I guess, realistic as you can be. A little bit of grey to the eye just to give it a bit more definition there. And I wanted to just blend in her face with her hair just to make sure that it didn't have this weird sort of white line between them. And I just used that to blend in a little bit more. And now that we're done, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks so much for watching. Have a sunshiny day. Bye!